Hello and welcome back to the Cooking with Ruf cooking show on YouTube. We have a treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to show you how to make a wonderful braised beef chuck roast. And this is going to take a little bit of time, so it takes a few hours to get this done the way you want to get it done. So when you hear people talking about, I got time today, those will be one of the days when you would want to take on this recipe. So we got the chuck roast, we got our herbs, we got our roasting pan. If you, are from the community, you know what this roasting pan is. Everybody grandma had one of those. And that's what we're going to use today to get this braised chuck roast done. And I promise you, it's going to be flavorful, juicy, succulent, and tasty. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to make your day. We're going to show you how to get it all done today on Cooking with Ruf. All right, folks, we are going to cover the ingredients that we need to make this juicy, succulent, braised chuck roast. Here I have in my medium meat marination container a chuck roast that I have pre-seasoned. Y'all, I seasoned this thing last night about 11 p.m. and right now it's what, 9:22. So we're working on however many hours that is of marination. And I seasoned it with salt, pepper, seasoning salt, smoked paprika, and cumin. And again, I seasoned it right in the container. I used the excess seasonings to season the sides, and that thing has just been resting overnight. In this bowl, I have several fresh herbs that I have chopped, which will add flavor again to this succulent dish. On this side, I have a freshly chopped medium-sized onion. Over here, we've got a medium-sized carrot that's been chopped. We've got some shallots that you can see there. That's really one shallot. Maybe about 4 cloves of garlic, coarsely chopped. And then we have a stalk of celery that I chopped as well. In addition, we've added about 6 sprigs of fresh Italian parsley on the top. When you see this red apron, I have donned the magical red apron, and that means that it is time to get into the preparation of this wonderful braised chuck roast. So I'm going to take the chuck roast and do an about face as I transition to the hot Cooking with Ruf stovetop, where we are going to pan sear this chuck roast. I've already added some avocado oil to this pan. And we covered in a previous video, I believe it was the chicken sandwich video, about the characteristics of that high temperature avocado oil. So let's go ahead and now put that roast down. And basically what we're gonna do here, folks, is we're just gonna do 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 4 on each side. Try to get the sides as well. And that's gonna lock in the flavor. And then we'll take that roast once it's been seared on those sides. We'll add it to our grandma's roasting pan on a fresh bed of herbs and veggies. We'll add a little bit of water to it, put that bad boy in the oven and let it take about a 3-hour nap. And we'll come back and take it out and prepare to be wild. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna come in here and do that first turn of our roast. If I can get a hold of it. There it is. Oh yeah, look at that, y'all. Look at that. See that browning on there? We're just locking in the seasoning, locking in the flavors. All right, folks, we got that second side with a little bit of searing and browning on it, and we'll come in and we'll turn the roast on the long side to get some browning on that part as well. And then we'll do this side, and then we'll go ahead and put that baby in the oven. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the Cooking with Ruf home kitchen studio, where it is time to prepare the bed for this braised chuck roast to rest in for the next 3 hours at 315 degrees Fahrenheit. And one of the things that you'll notice about these fresh herbs that I've chopped is that I chop them larger. And I usually do that when I'm making a roast or a baked chicken or a turkey or a couple of baked chickens or a Cornish hen, and I could keep going. But that could lead me to the Cooking with Ruf word of the week, which is chunkafied. And that is the act of cutting your fresh herbs and veggies to a larger piece size to accommodate making a roast or a baked chicken in the oven. Chunkafied. All right, so we're gonna come in here with these fresh herbs. I probably have more onions than anything, so we'll kind of start with a bed of onions. We'll add some parsley in there. We'll hit it with some of those carrots. We'll hit it with some celery. We'll hit it with some shallots. Make sure you kind of get that evenly put in there. And then we'll save the rest of this to go around the roast and maybe on the top once we set it on there. So that's what that thing looks like. We're gonna sit that roast on there. And night night. And in 3 hours, y'all know what time it is. Lord have mercy. We have browned it on all sides. Look at that beautiful browning. All sides, folks. And it is now ready to take that 3-hour nap. So we're gonna turn, do an about face, come back to the Cooking with Ruf island, where we're going to take this roast and we're gonna sit it on that bed. And it's time to go night-night. All right, sit it on those herbs. And then what I'm gonna do here is, I talked about earlier that I season this in my MMC. I'm gonna put some water in here and rinse all those seasonings out. Maybe about a cup to a cup and a half of water. And we'll pour that over the top. All right, folks. Then we'll add these herbs here, some on top. And then we can just add the others around the sides. And we will get this baby in the oven. Set that timer for 3 hours, and then we'll come back. All right, we've added those fresh herbs. We put the water in there, and now it's time for the chuck roast to take a nap. Sleep tight. All right, time to put this baby into the oven. Again, 315 for 3 hours. All right, folks, that sound means that this tender, and some heat coming out of there, that tender, succulent, and juicy chuck roast is now done. We're gonna spin around to the Cooking with Ruf island, turn this off if we can do it, and we're gonna take that first quick peek at it, and then we're gonna let it sit just for a moment, and then we're gonna get into this taste time. So come on in here, Mr. Cameraman, and let's take a look at what we looking like. 3 hours, slow and low, and it should be very tender and ready to go. So we'll come back here shortly and we'll taste some with you to wrap up today's show. All right, folks, welcome to the grand finale of this succulent braised chuck roast. After 3 hours and some change, we are back and we are ready to give this a try. So look, I have no knife. You see that? We don't need a knife. We're just gonna cut it with the fork. Got that piece off the end there. And here we go. Y'all, the tenderosity of it all. And all of those flavors coming from those fresh herbs that have just permeated the whole roast. Extremely flavorful, extremely tender. And we showed you how to get it all done today on the Cooking with Ruf show. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time. Man, bro, I'm about to throw this on a sandwich. I'm about to throw this on a sandwich.